absolutely blew me away was how someone could work out for uh, 1,000 days plus in a row. And so I was inspired when I was back in law school. I read a guy, I'm sure know the name David Goggins.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Um, and I read his book, and his book Can't Hurt Me. It
Awesome book.
inspired me to be a much stronger, more well-adjusted person. And like I work out, but I work out, maybe 3 or 4 days a week. I don't work out every day. And when I saw that you had done, the everyday workout challenge, I was just blown away. And so, in that note, how do you start working out every day, and how have you not stopped? Because I think it's very impressive.
So, yeah, I started a health and fitness journey back in 2012 is kind of when I started it. And, um, I was starting to learn about food and nutrition a little bit and just committing to working out. So I'd gone through, what Sean T's workout from his Beachbody stuff. I'd gone through some of the Beachbody stuff, and just anyway, I started this journey. And as I was studying more about working out, I came across YouTube video once YouTube was out with Kevin Hart. It's a Nike commercial that he did. He and his training partner on there, Robert Evangeline, I think. And man, it was inspiring. It's him just kind of cranking it, and he's got a voice overlay as he's going through all this. And one of the things he says, 365 days, no days off. And I was like, whoa. And so as I used to teach a bunch of classes too, and I was teaching people about things, I would show that video sometimes, and it would just hit me. But I had never done a 365 days, no days off myself. I'd always, on a great week, I was working out, maybe 4 or 5 days a week. And so I decided in 2018 that I was going to do that. I think late 2018 is when I started, and then 2019 was when I actually did it. I said, all right, I'm going to go 365 days through here. And so, but I wanted something like, here's what I know. If you have a plan, like a detailed plan, it's a heck of a lot easier to follow and execute that plan than just, a hope or, oh, I want to do this. And so I want to be fully committed on this. And so I mapped out a plan, and my plan was very simple to this. Oh, and I also wanted to do it to, number one, so that we could be having a conversation like this today, right? I wanted to go through that and do it so I could tell people about it. I wanted to do it where it didn't involve a gym, didn't involve spending any money. You could do it from your home with just, yourself, a little mat, and, a pair of tennis shoes. And so with the workout plan I came up with, it was just rep based. I said, okay, in January, I'm going to do 400 reps a day and I said it could be push-ups, sit-ups, squats, lunges, pull-ups, and a couple of things, all just body work exercise. And I had mapped it all on a spreadsheet. So I track it every day, how many reps I was doing. And I said, all right, January, I started like 3 days before the end of, I think I started late 2018 with 300 reps a day. And then I kicked up to 400 reps a day in January. And then February, I was going to do 500 and then 600. And then so by December, I think I was doing 11 or 1200 reps a day or something. Okay. But and let me tell you, January was hard doing 400 reps a day in January. It was a beating, but February was easy, because I had 30 days of repetition in there and going through it. In February was really not that hard. And then March, kind of same thing, as I'm layering on 100 more per day each month. But let me tell you, when you get to 1,000, 1,100, 1,200, it just takes time. It's just taking me an hour and 20 minutes to get my workout done. But I can tell you, I was super fit. I was looking great, super fit. And so I get to the end of this year, and I'm like, there's no way I'm stopping. This feels amazing. And what I started to learn about myself, it was so much easier to go every day than to go 5 days a week, right? Because if you take one day off or 2 days off, that can, especially if you take 2 days off, it can easily lead to 3 or 4 right there. It can just easily bleed into that.
Oh yeah.
And so I said, man, if I'm committed to every day, so I said, let's keep that going through the next year. So through the next year, I modified it because I really, especially in the later part of that 2019 year, because of so many reps I was doing, I wasn't running at all. And I really enjoy running in the cardio. So all my cardio was out on that. And so I wanted to layer in cardio. So 2019, I did the same thing. I just modified it a little bit. Same thing, mapped out a plan. Here's the thing I'm going to do. and followed that plan. So then I went all the way through 2019 or through 2020 doing it again. And that was especially beneficial through COVID and the weirdness of that year. Having consistent exercise was really, really important for me to get through that year. And then 2021, I continued on again through 2021, uh, and finally into 2022. So I'd gotten over 3 years in a row, so over 1,000 days right there. And then in 2022, this past year, I had some stuff going on with one of my kids, and I was shutting down this business that we're finally shutting down. I was coming to terms with the fact we're going to shut down this business, which had become my baby and just a really important project to me. It just kind of went through a little mild depression in 2022, and I fell off the wagon. So I was like, you know what, you know, I, I probably averaged 3 to 4 days a week
All right,
in
that's better than most
2022.
folks. No one's gonna be hating on
Yeah,
that.
but for me, it was like a real. I had it becomes so much of who I was daily working out, and I felt so good about it. And so I'm back on this year every day, no days missed. I've got my plan. I've mapped it all out, and I'm back on the plan. And I was talking to someone who reached out to me. He wanted accountability for fitness this year coming into it, and I said, look, in my opinion, it is easier to do something every day, even if that something is, you know walking for 2 miles. Take your dog out for a walk for 2 miles, right? That's some kind of exercise right there. If you're doing something every single day, rather than saying, I'm going to work out, especially to say I'm going to work out 4 or 5 days a week, that's just if I was your coach, that wouldn't work. Right. to say we're going
Yeah,
to do four.
accountability. Yeah.
Yeah. You've got to have a defined plan and commit to it right there. So anyway, that's me. And it was fun to go through that process. Here's the cool thing though. I had a guy, I was 6 months into my little journey, and he's like, "Hey man, what are you doing?" And I told him about it, and he's in another accountability group of mine, and he said, "Man, I'm stubborn." He's like, "I I could do that." And he's now well over 1,000 days himself, right? And so it's awesome to see the little ripple effect that one can have.
A change of pace from the get rich quick gurus. Subscribe to the Real Finds podcast for in-depth conversations with voices shaping the real estate world.